Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. And welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to be with you. This is Spiritual Rockstar Podcast again, of course, right? Your favorite show in the world, I'm sure. We just love being with you every single time. I've got an amazing, wonderful guest that's very filled with heart, and that's why he talks about the Heartful Method. And so it doesn't get any better than that on Spiritual Rockstar, right? Coming from the heart, that heart with space within. When I was channeling the other day, I was in that heart space, and I was just like, can I just stay like right here in this channeling right now forever? Like, now what if I could move in my life like completely every single second of my life from that place in that level of depth? I was like, that would be amazing, right? Everybody wants that. So we want to learn more about that from Arnaud. We're going to be learning about that in just one moment. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate, Make Money meditation today. All right, everybody. So glad to be here with you all. Hi, Arnaud.
Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Great. It's so wonderful. You're with us from Paris today. So it's always a fun thing to mention.
Yes, it is.
So let's go ahead and share with everybody about you. Now, Arnaud is, a philanthropist and award-winning serial software, finance, and social impact entrepreneur for more than 20 years. Living between Los Angeles and Paris, Arnaud went through his awakening when 13. That's pretty cool, right? While having a successful career in finance and technology across continents, he has been traveling throughout the world to study the different religions and philosophies in his relentless quest to understand himself. How perfect. His life purpose is now open to billions of hearts and help them find harmony inside and out. And of course, you can use this method to manifest and do all that good stuff and much more, right? So anyway, Arnaud, what really tell us about awakening at 13? That's pretty amazing in itself. When did you awaken to the depths of the heart?
I started the journey. Well, probably I was a bit there already, but I started the journey when I was 13, and it was that relentless quest, as mentioned earlier, of looking to live how do I live through the heart? Because I could see all these people, and myself included, living through the mind, and that didn't make sense to me. So it has been a long discovery for the past 30 years. And as I was on that journey where life was showing me, lots of things about myself, and I tried to make sense of it all, and therefore showed up these drawings coming from all the different studies that I made and the dialogues and conversation I had, and simple drawings that helped me to have a good understanding of how this triad of the I, the ego mind, the heart, how does all that work, right? Yeah. And it became something that now is relevant, because in about 3 months, I can help an individual or a company to really shift into a place of more harmony, of more alignment, and where they can lead in a more conscious way through their heart. And it's really, rocking your world, right?
Right.
Get back to your title. And we can do it. We all have all the tools inside ourselves. So why not me, right? That's the whole idea. So now we offer retreats and workshops and also conscious guidance sessions. And our aim is to get to 1 billion people. So we have a long way to go.
Awesome. Yeah, it seems like the conditioning again, at least, I don't know, who knows? I don't know much about the East. Whatever I know is very little, right? Eastern culture and whatnot. I mean, I know what I've heard, but and you know, Buddhism and all that stuff. But in the Western world, for sure, like we're trained to come from our mind, right? Oh, by the way, remember to come from your heart, you know, like remember to come from your heart as well. But, you know, the mind is like really worshiped. Like the mind can do so much. Just focus up that mind. We're going to have it all. We'll fix every problem and all that sort of thing. And, you know, I had my own, this is such a beautiful conversation. I was doing a bunch of channeling with my guides back in the 2000s. And that's when I kept getting the message like every day that I was channeling. It's about the heart space. It's about the heart space. You know, the mind is actually not even as needed as people think. You know, it's just enough to navigate your physical. That's it. You know, you're really supposed to live from your heart. And it's so it's like we've been conditioned to do it kind of backwards, right? I mean,
Completely.
yeah.
And it's logical. It's actually, it is what is needed because our essence is to be such unconditional love, right? That is what we call the heart, which is the unconditional love of our mother or our parents for that matter. And that is our essence. And therefore we have to lose ourselves into the mind so that we go into the other side of the spectrum, see how that works. And then we have the opportunity potentially to come back to our point of origin, if we choose to, and enriched by all the experience of the contrasts we have been going through life. So it's okay, right? We have an ego, it's there, amazing, wonderful. What do we want to do with it? That's the question. And who am I, number one, but also who do I want to become in my heart of heart? Is that exactly my vision of myself that I want to enact in the long term? And that's where magic happens, because if I choose continuously to open myself to more and more openness and more love, then life really becomes something magical to live, because the universe around you responds with the same currency. And so things start to put themselves together without any effort. So we need that journey towards more effort, more complexity, more segregation, aka the mind, and more identification, so that then if we choose to, then we can start disidentifying with everything and then come back to the beautiful, amazing space of me that is fully aware of himself and has the mind there. Yes, it's an aspect of I, but not all of it, for sure.
Right. There's a lot of teachings talk about, you know, there's your individual mind, and there's universal mind, and it's mind, and it's mind, and it's mind. And it really, when you hear it, like, I know like it has different meanings for different people, but there's still this idea that there's this mind. And I think when we go deeper and we get into the heart, there's no sense of a mind for me anyway. It's more like just everything is and love and beauty and just I can't even put it into words, right? So it's a whole nother level. I think the issue people have, because there's people listening and probably think, well, I live from my heart every day. I'm constantly giving to people. And there's definitely listeners listening in thinking that right now. But they run into problems with boundaries, not making money because they're not valuing themselves, they just give everything away. How do you balance the heart that just wants to give and give with, you know, getting to a place where you don't feel like you're receiving? You know, I feel like I'm giving, so that feels good, but I don't feel like I'm receiving money or receiving respect at the level that I want, things like that. So how do we, you know, bring that in if we feel like that's out of balance?
Well, I guess the first question one needs to ask oneself is, from where am I giving? Is it really a place where I am giving, you know, as a philanthropist, unconditionally?
Yeah.
Or is it that I'm looking for some kind of currency to come back to me?
Mm-hmm.
And this is, an interesting question. And with total honesty with ourselves, it's okay to give, or believing that we're giving in order to get something out of it. I mean, it's not necessarily giving, but it is okay. So therefore, the next step is to forgive ourselves to maybe not really giving fully and truly. Now, the way the world works, if I am giving from a true place, so to speak, an authentic place, in integrity with that gesture of giving, therefore, the universe will bring you more, not necessarily in the same currency, by the way, but in other ways. And so probably one thing also that we would say to that person is she may want to start counting her own blessings, be grateful for what she currently has, because she may be actually receiving more than what she believes she is, right? So I say, poor me, I'm not receiving, more money, or etc. Okay, yes, but then she is, I don't know, she has a beautiful house, or I don't know, there are many other things. So, and by doing that, we start really focusing on the abundance of our world instead of the scarcity, the apparent scarcity of it, which is an illusion, by the way. And so we open our heart instead of constricting it with more fear. So, and that fosters more giving potentially, if we choose to, and if it's again in integrity with ourselves. And that's the important bit, right? To be conscious and aware and fully aware of all the aspects of ourselves. In the method I'm working with, it's helping an individual to go from a place of cacophony to a place of harmony. And that cacophony is these little eyes that we have, whether they are 5 years old, 12 years old, 15, 25, whatever, that have their own grudges or ways of seeing the world, etc. And that they are looking to enact in this now moment. So maybe that giving is coming from one of the little eyes that are looking for love, right, from mommy, daddy, or whatever is what is being enacted at that moment. And that's okay. So it's just a matter of embracing it and accepting it and having compassion for that is playing out. So in other words, giving can be the amazing opportunity to love yourself more.
Right. Yeah, I got that looking for love in all the wrong places kind of idea from the little eyes. I looking for love where I'm never gonna really feel it. So yeah, just I always get like, come back home to the heart, come back home, to the love that we all are, and like that's the constant message. And yeah, the little eyes always say, I didn't get what I was supposed to get. I didn't get that ice cream. I didn't get that extra bonus. I didn't get this. I didn't get that. I'm angry. I'm, therefore, and then I'll do this and I'll do that. Like even the most pleasant, beautiful, loving people have their little eyes, right? They get in there and the little gremlins and stuff. So how do we deal with those little gremlins? How do you help people with this method, the Heartful Method to...
There is a method. So part of it, a little 3-step thingy process that I teach. And by the way, I have it available on a full workshop on our website. We'll share the URL later. Mm-hmm. So it's 3 ways to find harmony within the 3 steps. And so whatever is the situation you are in, right? Someone triggered you with a conversation, or you feeling not rewarded by your amazing philanthropism that you just did. And that's okay. We're human after all. The first thing is to accept what is. That's, whatever that is, whether it's a heated discussion or the situation we just described, it is what it is. I mean, let's face it, it's what it is. So let's accept it as it is. not trying to put more judgment or things on it, whether towards ourselves or the other person. Just accept it in the simplest way possible. We can see it, and so that's the first step, so that we can become aware of what's playing out now, a little bit at least, not fully, but at least a little bit. Then the second step is to embracing it, meaning, okay, this is what is playing out. I don't necessarily understand what it means, why I'm here, why I'm feeling this, etc. But okay, this is part of me. So I'm embracing it. I'm putting it back to me as the point of origin of all that is playing out now. And that is quite courageous in general, because we tend to put that on the others, right? I'm not receiving my counter gift, so I'm a victim. Therefore, I should have more, etc. And so being courageous enough to say, okay, this is there. I'm feeling disappointed by them, by me, whatever. Okay, it's okay. Let's say it's okay. And it may be, we may have that insight of it's this mini me from 10 years old that was saying that, maybe, but we don't necessarily need to do that. And then the third step, which may be more difficult for each and every person, is to find in our own heart compassion, forgiveness, compassion, gratitude, not only towards the other, the other being the one that triggered me, or that is the object of the gift in that case and did not give back in some ways, but also towards ourselves, and more importantly towards ourselves, because it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to have done that for that many years. Okay, it's okay, and it's therefore okay to change it now, because there is only one perfect moment, which is now. And to be able to open our hearts to ourselves, and to, again, accept and embrace ourselves in this moment, and say, being able to say, I love you unconditionally, and find that place of compassion, is the best gift you can give to yourself ever.
Yeah.
And find that place where you feel more in harmony, in other words, with what just came about.
Yeah.
And with yourself.
Yeah, things always come up, right? Relationships, your career, business, money, health, whatever it is. And you can always look at it and think, blame yourself or blame others for where you are with any of it. And a lot of it's just not being willing to embrace and accept that it's happening, like you said, like you have to, the old spiritual truth, right? We accept what is and embrace it. So as we can do that, that naturally starts to bring us closer to our heart space at a minimum, right?
Yeah. And it gives us an additional gift, which is a gift of disidentification, meaning that all of a sudden that thread, whatever that was, right, of guilt or expectation related to a specific trigger, whichever it is, starts to become lighter or even disappear, meaning that from now on, I won't ever be triggered by that anymore. It's done forever and ever. And so gradually, I'm allowing myself to become freer from myself, in other words, from that ego identification process that we all have. And therefore, I live a little bit more in my heart. I have a little bit more presence to myself because of that process.
Let's talk about that ego identification process. We've heard these kind of terms before. What is that exactly? What is an ego identification process?
Yeah, it's when we are coming in this physical body, we go through a process of identification. We identify with the physical body, with our first name, with our last name, with our family, with the values of the family and the different aspects of this family, of our school, of our society, blah, 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 blah. And we can even identify to a sports team, to a specific party, you name it. And we even identify with our role in our family, in our society, etc., and the actions we're doing and the results of these actions. And if I buy myself a Ferrari, I'm amazing. If I don't, I'm shit, right? I'm obviously caricaturing and probably not for this audience anyway. But the bottom line is, because of this world, how it is structured, there is the propensity to connect deeply with whatever we're observing and identifying with it, meaning leaving a little bit of energy there and there and there and there and there, whether it is in the future or it is in the past, putting out a lot of identifications that makes it so that there is not anymore a lot of people in the present moment, meaning a lot of energy in the present moment. And I am dispersed, right, across all the spectrum of potential identifications. And that's what we call the ego. By letting go of these identifications gradually, we are able to become more and more present in this now moment, being more freely connected to our own experience of that now moment, and therefore live in our heart. And that's key to, an amazing experience of ourselves if we choose to.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like the idea of who are you before you had a name and all that sort of stuff, like just really that deep letting go process of really letting go of all the concepts, right? Just the mind is accumulated so many different ideas and concepts of who you are as a being, and like, almost all of them are wrong. Like, that's what's so interesting.
We're kept in a world of illusions, right? As I say, usually life is kind of walking in a path that is full of mirrors, and we're only looking at these mirrors, and we're lost in these images of ourselves as well. And that's the whole gist of it. And as we allow ourselves to remember that this is an image, and this is another reflection, and this is another illusion, etc., therefore we come back to now. And that's where it becomes magical.
It's the mind. We're taught that we're meant to keep achieving and acquiring, right? We got to achieve this thing, then we got to get, and then we're not focused on getting, and if we don't go after it, we're going to miss out. We're going to be left behind. We're going to miss the bus, like, so we got to constantly be on it, or we've got to use your mind. You can't, I've had people, I did interview like 60 different people about the idea of like being deep in your heart. And I had some people say, well, I use my ego to make sure I'm able to get to my computer in the morning. I'm just all up in this connected energy. And I'd say, I don't know if I can trust that, right? Like, people are very accomplished, even very wise people. And I really question that, right? The infinite intelligence within your heart knows what you need to know. I mean, it's how I see it anyway. And we have such a fear of letting go of those attachments that, oh my God, I got to focus. I got to make it happen. We're trained again and again. There's so many motivational videos. Yeah, use that pain, put more fuel on that fire. That's how you manifest. That's how you matter. And like, people are doing that all the time. And it's a whole way of doing it. And you can achieve outer things that way, but you are never at peace. You never, right? You just end up being not really ever at peace, is what I've noticed.
Yes, very much so. And it is about, society as a whole is a bit skewed towards more masculine energy than feminine energy. And therefore, hence these values that you were mentioning just now. If we take the time and trust ourselves and the whole process so that we can meet ourselves and between the masculine and the feminine energy, where both are equally balanced, let's put it that way, then we are going to let go of these ideas of effort, of, a focus, not focus in the sense that we don't need to focus. Of course we do, but in a very different way, in a way that is inspired instead of forced.
Yeah.
Right. And that makes a huge difference because all of a sudden, if you are inspired, you will be inspired to do this, whatever is the action that is needed. And it will bring you to a place that you would ever have fathomed that is way better than if you would have forced your way towards that same goal. And yes, it is possible to force yourself, etc., but it will be at the expense of something else, for sure. Like what we're seeing in our planet, right? We're forcing ourselves in the planet, we're taking resources, and therefore we have some issues now. We're doing the same with our physical bodies. We have so many people that are stressed out, and therefore after that have some illnesses, etc., etc. So what if we can both achieve the vision that we hold in our heart, and at the same time be at ease with ourselves and be in pure balance, so that this can, so that my experience can align with what is that vision that I hold. Yeah. Because that's what, that's what our heart wants. It's to sing its symphony to the highest potential frequency. And so maybe we can let ourselves be guided to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing. And so you're able to take people who, again, individuals or people that are running companies, et cetera, like different types of people, it sounds like, to some degree, and you're able to help them to, let go of the ego identifications, start releasing that, right? And bring them into the heart space, and so they can experience the wonder of what's there, but also on a practical level of living your life and being fulfilled. You're able to start realizing your heart's vision that you were born with, right? You were born with vision in your heart. And how do we go about, people have those feelings, right? Like, I think I'm meant to do these things, and it's sort of in this direction. But then we get into our heads trying to figure out what it means and how we're going to make it work. But with your method, you're helping people to just go directly to that vision and and allow that to guide, lead them, etc. So that's amazing. That's amazing. So I know we only have so much time today to get into it, but tell us a little bit more about it. And I know you have some ways of people to really dive into it, workshops, etc. Can you tell us about all that? Yeah.
So it's really a visual map. That's the way I see it, where we can learn the processes that makes it this human experience. So we're starting to understand how we can flow, how we can surf the wave of our life, right? Instead of, so it's not for me to foster a new state of consciousness. Obviously that happens, but it is more for the person to really have a crystal clear understanding of where they are, where do they stand in life, where does that go, and from there making their own choices. So my own purpose is to share my experience, these tools that came up in my own life, and if they want to experiment with it, they're very much welcome, and together we can grow and accelerate our growth, right? So it's really about fast tracking our access to our heart's vision. Whether we're entrepreneur or not, doesn't matter, it's the same thing. And it works for companies and groups. I was on the Nile with 60 change makers to help them enter into coherence and alignment. And we're doing a new retreat on the Nile at the end of November. And also working with one-on-one with CEOs most of the time, so that they can accelerate the growth of their company as well. And so it's super pragmatic because we're using life as a way to understand what are the belief systems, the emotional blockages that are active now that needs attention, so that they can be reincorporated in ourselves, right? And by doing so, we free ourselves more and we live more vibrantly. And therefore we sing our songs, so to speak, more powerfully. And that's the whole idea. We're here on this earth for that, to wildly express that song that is unique and that is held in our heart, which is the vision of the heart that we were mentioning earlier, etc. And so that's that. So we have books as well, and I'm offering 4 workshops that give a good understanding of the Heartful Method. That is available on the URL tapuat.com/harmony, and Tapuat is tapuat.com/harmony. And yeah, you can go there, enjoy that aspect, and then start a conversation.
That's wonderful. Yeah, we'll have the link, of course, in the show notes. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, well, live from your heart space, but then, if you're used to your patterns being caught up in ego identification, then just the idea of living from your heart will help, but you really need put some extra focus and get some help to really be able to foster not just living from your heart, but then that heart's vision, to really to understand that and to live from that space. So that's amazing. And I'm looking forward to checking out the workshops myself as well. And yeah, I know you've helped so many, CEOs, visionaries, and people, just want to make change in the world. And there's a lot of people tuning in, I'm sure, that want to do that. So anyway, as we're starting to kind of wrap things up a little bit, I just wanted to say one thing is like, one other thing I wanted to mention was the gratitude. Like, it is interesting how the mind just incessantly insists on lack, right? Out of survival, need to be loved or whatever, all those things. But we're lacking. Like the heart's like, there's nothing lacking. Like, look around. Like, you're living in paradise. Wake up. Like if the voice, I kind of give it a funny voice to the heart, but it's kind of like that. Everything's here. What are you talking about? And so I really love that tip. I just want to double down on that tip real quick. Was like, take a look at how your life is amazing, miraculous, and so abundant now. Because you can't see it now, don't expect to see it later. That's how my take on it. Like, you can't see it now, then it's okay, right? We all get caught up, and we're having a tough time in life and whatnot. Especially then, it might be hard to see. But if you can't find it now, then don't just expect. Not naturally, when your conditions improve, so to speak, like you'll be able to see it later. The mind will continue to go back to the old pattern. Oh, we're still lacking. We're still, we need more millions. We need more love. We need more. We need more always, right?
Yeah,
this goes on forever. Oh,
yeah, exactly. And one can be grateful about very little things, like the sun is waking up every morning, or there are birds, or my little pinky is beautiful.
Yeah. Exactly. Why do we underappreciate like every single little thing? Because it's all amazing. It's that. So anyway, anyway, I just wanted to double down on that. And then as we're beginning to wrap up, sometimes what I like to do is just maybe tune into my guests for just a moment and maybe give you 2 or 3 downloads of what source seems to be wanted to share with you today. Would you like to receive, Arnaud?
Yes, please.
All right, great. Let me go ahead and do that. Well, what I'm getting is just something about, I see you in a library. So the sense I get of it is that in your philanthropic works is that there's a sense of opening people on the inner, but I I also feel like you said, you have books, like there's definitely that educational component. And I feel like it's almost like, if you had a Heartful, uh, you know, institute or something, I don't know, like whatever, like it's something like that, like something kind of like this deeper education you can give people. So that's coming in. And again, usually when I say these things, like half the time almost, it seems like people are like, yep, it's already starting to happen. So anyway, but I love sharing anyway. Let me see what else has come through. Yeah, I just want to share. This is as much for you as the audience, like too. All of it is, but I do get that. I heard marketers use this before, but I really feel it's true in your case. Like, Arnaud truly has like the keys to your car. Like to your heart in this case. Like, here, you just put it in, turn on the engine, and I'll teach you how to drive from there. But it's really not that big of it. It's not as scary as you think. It's not as bad as you think. Like, it's relatively simple. Just trust me. I'll give you the keys to your car. So it's kind of that image that came in, and that, yeah, you're opening up like that golden portal, to a beautiful life. Okay, let's see. I usually like to get 3. Let me see if I get one more. I was just tuning in a little bit to some of the early life stuff. It seems like there was some frightful, energy there. And but it's like, what I just want to note is like how you've been able to come back into the fullness of who you are, like even with those really scared little parts that we have, and I see them in they're there in you, but like you're able to expand and they dissolve in the presence pretty rapidly. That just to acknowledge, how powerful that is, that you have that. There's not like some people are like, man, I've totally dissolved into the one, and there's teachers like that and whatnot. But I think like your message is more like, yeah, I'm basically awake, but I still have my little gremlins. I have my insecurities. But when you live from your heart, they dissolve much more quickly, because
Yes.
you got that sharp, like you could be quick to anger in moments. You could be, you could be all those things, but you're able to come back to center really quickly, is what I was getting. So
yeah, I couldn't agree more. So on the school, I was told about it. Yes, 2 days ago. So
cool.
it is confirmed. It will happen. And yeah, you're right on what you are saying now. I mean, there is that human aspect that is always there also, and it's just a dance between one and the other, and that's great. It's
Yeah, I think it's important to make that distinction, because some people are always like, no, it's just about going into transcendence and forget the humanists and everything. Like, you're not that teacher. You're like, no, it's about the humanists. It's about embracing everything. And I think that's so beautiful. It's something I think that is important just to note about who you are and how you're helping the world. So anyway,
Thank you very much.
yeah, it's a thing. Good thing. And if y'all would like to check me out, go to Your Sacred Purpose, and yeah, avail yourself of whatever calls to you there. But I have a meditation that we mentioned earlier in the show, the meditate and make money meditation. And yeah, people love getting attuned to getting their answers, and energy gets turned on inside you, and you're like, oh, all right, I'm feeling so much better. I'm feeling aligned. I'm getting some downloads here. And so check that out at yoursacredpurpose.com. And there's always the opportunity for you to get your own energy scan consultation, to tune into your energy, and also look at your strategies and your systems and your business, et cetera. So you can take advantage of that there as well through the Rock Your Sacred Purpose energy scan consultation through application. So I really look forward to meeting with you guys. And yeah, and I just always like to give my guests the last word. So any last words today, Arnaud?
The word that is coming for the audience is believe in yourself. whatever is the fear that is showing up for you, whichever form it has, doesn't matter. Believe in yourself, in your heart. And maybe I'd invite you to read my second book, which called I, which is 66 poems that helps I to connect to its self, its higher self. Maybe that will help, maybe not, doesn't matter. But please do believe in yourself and trust yourself. There's so much beauty behind that door.
Nice. Thank you. That's always an amazing thing to remind people of. Believe in yourself. I'm going to add in this case to that one. Believe in yourself even when you feel you have no reason to, because trust me, you're meant to believe in yourself. Just trust me on that one. Because Arnaud, I don't know if this has happened to you, but there's definitely times when I'm like, I don't know, why am I not believing in myself at this moment? Like all of a sudden, like you can lose it. And it's like, just remember to believe in yourself. I love that. So thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for coming on and just
thank you for having me.
Yeah. I really enjoyed. I mean, a heart space, living for, come on, it can't get any better than that. So grateful for you. I'm so grateful for everybody tuning in, and keep on tuning in, and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, everybody. And goodbye for now. Lots of love. Listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.